Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, and we're going to talk about what Deadpool and Wolverine teaches every dungeon master and every dragon master about cameos. All right, so this was a 4 out of 5 star movie. I very much enjoyed the film. I do think it was a mistake that it was rated R, and I think some of the jokes went way too far over the line. I understand overshooting. This is a Deadpool film. I also understand that this was a very critical movie for literally for the U.S. economy. We're seeing if the big screen is going to survive, and so I am thankful to Ryan Reynolds for giving us what has the possibility of being a $1 billion film. I don't think it's going to make it, but even if it does, $500 million, $750 million, which I think it definitely will, that will help, right? So, and help us get Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves sequel, which is great. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. This film, one of the best things about this film is the cameos. The cameos are absolutely spectacular. I was stunned at the cameos. So by the way, spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine here. Biggest cameo in the film, the most important cameo. Well, the most important cameo in the film is actually Jennifer Lawrence. That I did an entire video on that one, which you just go back to go back a couple videos. Yeah, you'll see it. All right, but beyond that one was the Henry Cavill as Wolverine. That was incredible. I was absolutely, and I thought this was really important because Henry Cavill's been jerked around by DC for literally, I think, 10 years, right? Is he going to be, and gets, 10 seconds in Rock's terrible movie of Shazam or Black Lightning or what was that? What was he there? It was he had a black uniform. It wasn't Black Lightning. That's a different character. Man, that was such a horrible film. I think I just scrubbed it from my mind. The Rock's DC movie, man, it was abominable. Just so terrible. I want that 2 hours of my life back. But and Henry Cavill had 5 seconds as Superman in it. And then, they cut off Superman's head and DC really jerked Henry Cavill around. So how can Henry Cavill get revenge? That's good revenge on DC, right? So now Henry Cavill, by canon, Henry Cavill is the Wolverine, which is pretty incredible. There's a universe in which Henry Cavill is the Wolverine. Sign me up. I'm ready for that movie. I would definitely whoever's running the show over at DC. I don't think they have a high intelligence score. Maybe that intelligence is definitely a 10, maybe an 8, right? But Kevin Feige is an 18. I will take the Henry Cavill Wolverine movie. Yes, please. That's going to be cool, right? So that was an amazing cameo, right? So if we now see the importance of cameos, how do they work? How do we work that in as Dungeon Masters and Dragon Masters? Well, the first thing I think we should really start to consider for cameos is bringing people in to a Dungeons and Dragons game, a campaign, a session for a 20-minute scene, right? Where someone who has never played Dungeons and Dragons comes in to cameo as a player character very briefly, right? To accomplish one single goal. Now, why should this be done? Well, one, I think it would be really nice to give people a mini-sized experience with Dungeons and Dragons and say, hey, you're my neighbor and you make great hot dogs on the grill. Would you like to cameo in my Dungeons and Dragons game? You're going to arrive at 6 p.m. on Saturday night, and I will have a piece of paper with all of your character stats. I'll have a piece of paper. It will be a very simplified version. It'll be a very simple character sheet, and you're going to cameo, and you'll be involved in the combat for literally 20 minutes, and then you'll be gone, right? Now, and the reason why is to give people who are not part of Dungeons & Dragons a chance to experience Dungeons & Dragons. and a chance for your table to do something they normally do together with someone they don't, right? And I think this is super healthy for a lot of reasons. One, we need to normalize Dungeons and Dragons and make it accessible to normal people. So I think this would be really important to do, and I think it's a good idea. In my humble opinion, every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.